What is going on, Isles fans? Matt O'Leary back with another video. Here on Up the Turnpike, we have some trade speculation to discuss. According to Stefan Rosner, who in my opinion is the best in the business on the New York Islanders beat, he reported that per league sources, Noah Dobson is very high on the Canucks wish list. Let's talk trade scenarios. So Noah Dobson is a restricted free agent at the end of the year, which means he's due a new contract, and the Islanders have to make a decision. Do they want to commit long-term to Noah Dobson, who at best has been inconsistent in his career? At times he has flashed the potential to be a number one stud defenseman. At other times has left a little bit to be desired. So what does that mean for the New York Islanders? Should they trade him? Should they not? Well, let's talk through it with this team in particular, the Vancouver Canucks, because they're having some issues in Vancouver with two really good players. So let's start here. The Canucks interested in Noah Dobson, but there are many Islanders that that the Vancouver Canucks have expressed interest in. Prospect Danny Nelson, who is dominating for Team USA in the World Juniors, has been of interest. Simon Holmstrom as well, who has turned himself into a bright middle six forward for the New York Islanders, is someone that the Canucks have expressed interest in. And then beyond that, there's someone else. Brock Nelson, the big name that the New York Islanders will likely be trading at this deadline as a pending UFA, but the Canucks' interest is only if he is open to signing an extension. So they're not looking for Brock Nelson as a rental. My thoughts on all these players that the New York Islanders, or that the Canucks rather, are interested in from the New York Islanders, my take: come on down, Elias Pettersson. So why Elias Pettersson? Isn't he a really good player on Vancouver? Yes, he is, but Elliot Friedman said that the Canucks are listening to offers on both JT Miller and Elias Pettersson because of the rift that is caused between these two. That's been the drama over the last a few weeks or so, that there's been some drama in Vancouver between JT Miller and Elias Pettersson, and something might have to give here. So of the two, give me the 26-year-old Elias Pettersson, please. It would be a blockbuster deal, but let's talk about a trade proposal that Stefan Rosner put together for the New York Islanders to receive Elias Pettersson, because it would take a lot, number one, and you have to move some monies around because he is on a contract that is $11.6 million per year, but he is a young star in this league, which a star is something the Islanders are desperately missing. So if you're looking for this aggressive retool, which I think the Islanders desperately need, this is a good place to start looking. So here is that trade proposal. It's the Islanders receiving Elias Pettersson, his $11.6 million, and Vancouver receiving Noah Dobson, Casey Cizikas, a first-round pick, and Pierre Engvall. It's a lot to give up, but if that's what it would take to get Elias Pettersson, for the love of God, please do that trade. That is something that I would do in a second for a few reasons. Number one, you're acquiring an elite level player and giving up, to me, in my opinion, the big ones is the first round pick and Noah Dobson. But Cizikas and Engvall, yes, they're roster players for the Islanders, but they're essentially toss-ins. Both guys are bottom six players. Engvall has been a major disappointment for the New York Islanders after signing his 7-year contract extension. Casey Cizikas has a couple years left at $2.5 million and for a long time has been one of the league's best fourth line centers, but honestly has taken a step back this year, has not been that same guy. But if Vancouver is genuinely interested in Engvall and Cizikas, which apparently Tocchet, the coach out there, likes the style of both those two guys, and a trade proposal like this would work, I mean, this is perfect. Again, this feels like it's getting the Islanders out of a long-term deal that they don't want in Pierre Engvall, freeing up a spot for a younger version in the bottom six for Casey Cizikas. You're moving on from Noah Dobson, which without a doubt creates a hole. Like, it is definitely going to create a hole on the blue line for you. And you have to give up a first-round pick. And maybe it's a top 5 protected first-round pick or something like that. But what this does is you still have Kyle Palmieri and Brock Nelson, who you can then still trade which you would still be doing in this scenario, and maybe you can get a first-round pick back. So yes, you're giving up a first-round pick to land a guy like Elias Pettersson, but you might not be completely without a first-round pick because you could still trade Brock Nelson, you could still trade Kyle Palmieri, and recoup more value there. And to be clear, even if it was like Dobson and Brock Nelson in a deal together, now I'm not saying Dobson, Nelson in a first, but Dobson, Nelson, whatever, to land you a guy like Elias Pettersson, that's another great avenue, because then again, you're acquiring an absolute star in this league at a young age, still at 26, who is signed for a long time through the rest of his prime. This is good. If you're able to create asset or use your assets that you have, the limited ones that you might have, to land a star player, that's going to launch them back from being a middling team to eventually being a really damn good hockey team. So why Elias Pettersson? He's 26 years old. He scored at a 30-goal pace essentially his entire career since he's been in the league. His career average through 82 games is 33 goals and 82 points, so he's a point-per-game player essentially in his entire career. The last 3 seasons scored 32, 39, and 34 goals. His goal scoring is a little bit down this year, but he's someone who's been a 100-point player recently, 102 points in 2023. When was the last time the Islanders had a 100-point season on their team? Pierre Turgeon in 1993. You have to go back to 93. I was not alive yet. It's 32 years ago, the last time the Islanders had someone put up 100 points in a season. This would be franchise altering, and I know it's giving up a lot of pieces, but I think it's absolutely worthwhile. So let me know your thoughts on the idea of trading for Elias Pettersson. What kind of trade do you think it would take? Who are you willing to give up? What do you think of the interest that Vancouver has in some of these other guys? I'm Matt O'Leary. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you next time.
If you like that, make sure to subscribe to Up the Turnpike on Patreon for more exclusive New York Islanders content.